Peter Obi'S quiet inroads into the Muslim North. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Several weeks ago, my 80-year-old paternal uncle, who is a community leader, called me to ask whom between Atiku Abubakar and Bola Tinubu he should vote for and canvass support for. That was a strange request considering that in 2019 he resisted my entreaty to him to not vote or campaign for Buhari because of a danger that a Buhari second term would pose for Nigeria. He apparently sensed that I was hesitant to make any recommendation because the last time I did, he balked. He was a true believer in Buhari even when overwhelming evidence had shown that Buhari was not whom he had claimed to be. In response to my hesitation, he said he was asking because all I had told him about Buhari had materialized. If I was right about Buhari, I may be right about the next president, he said. I do not think that it is accurate. I have no crystal ball to gaze at the future. I only predicted Buhari's ongoing presidential disaster based on what was already happening, which his supporters like my uncle were blind while blind is over. Anyway, I asked my uncle why he limited his choices to Tinubu and Atiku. He said it was because they were only serious contenders in the race and that he had had a hard time choosing between them. I asked if he heard of Peter Obi. He had not even remotely, and my uncle isn't some uneducated rural bumpkin. Although he lives in the countryside in retirement, he is a UK-trained medical professional who is politically active. At his request, I told him about Obi and said Obi's name gets mentioned along with Tinubu and Atiku in urban Nigeria. Like a typical Muslim northern Nigerian, he couldn't get past the anxieties about an Igbo president throwing Nigeria into turmoil by using the instrument of federal power to declare Biafra, particularly in light of the recrudescence of Biafra movement and the mainstreaming of new Biafra sentiments in the southeast. I politely told him that he had his anxiety mixed up. The resurgence of Biafra movements and new Biafra sentiments in Igbo land is a consequence of the feelings of exclusion from descent among the Igbo people. Electing an Igbo person as president will eliminate Biafranism or push it to the fringes. Given the wide geographic spread of Igbo people in Nigeria, I said it is not reasonable to say that they do not want to be in Nigeria. An insular, inward-looking people who resent the diversity of Nigeria and want to recoil into their geocultural enclave would live only in the region. Our conversation ended without any recommendations from me. Fast forward to last weekend, my uncle called to say he won't only vote for Peter Obi but to campaign for him in the community. He said my siblings and cousins, whom he said had been influenced by my writing to become Obi supporters, had convinced him that Peter Obi was a candidate to support in the 2023 election. To be perfectly honest, I had not the remotest idea that my writing promotes the candidacy of Peter Obi because not a few Obi supporters have insulted me in the past over what I wrote about him. Although I have publicly stated my preference for an Igbo president in 2023 because I am convinced that it is the surest guarantee for Nigeria's continuity as a united nation. I'm entirely non-partisan in this election cycle. I'm bringing my uncle's story because it exemplifies a trend I've been observing in the last few weeks. Although there is still a dose of indifference too, and in some cases resentment at Peter Obi in the Muslim North, I am sensing a progressive acceptance of his candidacy. Another person I spoke with from Kano who said he's now warming up to Obi told me several people he knows and interacts with in the Northwest are giving Obi a chance, both because of the growing intensity of a hurt Buhari has inflicted on people in the region, and the fact that alternatives to Obi seem like Buhari. Tinubu health scares, frequent medical trips to London, and struggles with communicating with the public are disturbingly redolent of Buhari. And although Atiku seems healthy and is evidently the most prepared presidential candidate, he is Buhari's contemporary. So it is counts against him. Not to mention, 2023 is the year for a southern president, as 2015 and 2019 were for a northern president. I do not think the easing of the apathy and hostility to Obi in the Muslim North will be sufficient to cause him to win the plurality of votes there, but it may get him surprisingly higher votes than most people are inclined to expect. Of course, in electoral politics, predictions often have no more than a week validity, and this is particularly true of a 2023 presidential election. There are broadly 5 voting blocks in Nigeria: the Northern Muslim bloc, which is sometimes not based in contiguous geography and can spread across the free subdivisions of the region; the Northern Christian Bloc, which is also not always based on contiguous geography and can encompass a vast stretch of the region. The Southwest Bloc, which is entirely Yoruba and customarily unaffected by religious identification, although this is changing. The Southeast, which is entirely Igbo, and the Southern Ethnic Minority Bloc. To win a presidential election, a candidate needs to win at least 4 of those blocks. No candidate for now dominates in 4 voting blocks. Bola Tinubu appears to be dominant in the Southwest, although I sense that his health challenges are chipping away at his advantage there. Many people in the region who genuinely want him to be president have worries that he may die in office and allow the North to take over power again. Well, some Northern Muslims have said that of Buhari, based on what happened to Umar Musa Yar'Adua, God bless his soul, and the man seems to be on the mend and looking way healthier than he has ever been. Atiku Abubakar seems to be the favorite among Muslims in the Northeast, with the potential to expand his reach to other parts of the Muslim North. His problem is that because he has always been liberal, cosmopolitan, and not delimited by region, he does not excite Northern Muslims who define their identities in serious terms, in religious terms rather. It is precisely why he used to be more popular in the South and the Christian North than in the Muslim North. But Peter B has stolen his thunder in the erstwhile electoral base, and this was the basis of a joke I saw on social media that says Atiku has in the bag all the vote he needs to be president in 2023, except that Obi is holding the bag. Obi appears to have a lock on the vote on the Southeast, South, and in such predominantly Christian states as Benue, Plateau, and even Taraba. Christians in Southern Kaduna and Southern Kebbi seem more favorably disposed to him than they are to any other candidate. The major challenge of his popularity in the Southeast is that it may not translate to higher voter turnout in light of a continuing violence by the threat of violence by IPOB. Muslims to the North Central and the Northwest appear to be the only non-committal, persuadable voting bloc because they have no sentimental investment in any of the 3 major presidential candidates. They can swing in any direction. Because Obi is making a mark, however imperceptible, in these regions where he was previously unknown, we should recognize that he is no longer the underdog that he once was. In order to avoid the repeat of Buhari, critical citizens should ask Obi had such a question because he could be president. For example, why did they allow the Anambra State University branch of varsity to go on strike for more than 6 months, and even going so far to sack the school's vice-chancellor because of his alleged remarks with the striking workers of the university, alleged to the Daily Sun of January 19, 2011? How is it different from Buhari in this regard? Why did they allow doctors in Anambra State to go on strike for 13 months, which led to many needless deaths? The doctors called off strike without Obi meeting their demands, as implemented in no work, no pay rule, when a number of civil servants went on strike to demand to be paid minimum wage. Wow, this is really interesting and eye-opening. That is why I say, listen to your presidential candidates. Ask them questions. We no go vote for person we no come market himself for us. We'll go ask questions. We're not voting for somebody who is seeming like a ghost to us. Alright, so on this note, we've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for